But guys, just going from bad to worse with you all. I hope that you guys are more motivated to work for change than the crew we're about to introduce you to, and just prepare to vomit, to roll your eyes, because this is not going to be pretty. We are going to talk about the movement on Reddit for so-called the anti-work community.
Ugh, I hate it already.
So Hannah, I honestly was shocked by how big a thing this is. When I first heard about it, I was like, oh, come on, that's got to be 5 people on Twitter. It's actually, there is a massive kind of like leftist, socialist leaning Reddit community dedicated to abolishing work altogether. And it has 1.9 million members. They call themselves idlers. And the description of the group is a subreddit, which is a community on Reddit, which is like a forum, right? So for those who want to end work, are curious about ending work, want to get the most out of a work-free life, want to get more information on anti-work ideas, and want personal help with their own jobs and work-related struggles.
So I'm not on Reddit. I don't even know how to use Reddit. You told me you encountered this. I have seen it on TikTok. There's an anti-work movement on TikTok where people do this. And I saw one Twitter thread one time that was like, reply to this with all the things you do if you didn't have to work. And it was peak funny because these people were delusional. They were like, I'd be a poet, I'd be a singer, I'd be a horse farmer. And it's like, you could do those things under capitalism if you had any talent and gumption. Like, nobody's stopping you except that you're not good enough probably to make it. Like, and yet you think that you're going to go be a poet and singer and make crappy art and that people are just going to serve you in your new communist haven. Like, they're just delusional. And like, honestly, like, I mean, follow their own argument to the conclusion. Like, they actually want slavery. They want other people to have to work to produce things for them that they need while they get to go make crappy art nobody would buy under capitalism.
They either have to believe in that or believe that we're going to have a utopia where people don't have to do any work, but everything we want is just miraculously provided. And they try to do some weird, like, mental kung fu in their about page where they say, well, we want to end work, but that doesn't mean ending all productive behavior. So we'll still have stuff, but it will be because people choose to do it and are passionate about it, not because they're making capitalists rich and being caught in wage slavery or something. So
yeah, people are just so passionate about picking fruit, they'll go do it for kicks. Like, get out of here.
So this is their FAQ. Why do you want to end work? Because the modern workplace is one where you are expected to work despite your own individual needs or desires. Work puts the needs and desires of managers and corporations above and beyond workers, often to the point of abuse through being overworked and underpaid. Actually, work puts the desires of customers and consumers, aka all of us, above the needs of whatever the needs and desires of the workers are. But also that's why we have a free market and we have choice. You know, you don't have to choose to do a certain occupation in a socialist communist country, right? Like, you're assigned, you're being assigned to the labor department to work on the fields. You're being assigned to the auto mechanic division of the USSR. Like, no, you literally choose what to work. There's millions of options, even at the minimum wage level. Right? If you like working with people or you don't like working with people, you can find a job that's customer service or a job that's, remote. I did security at nights, barely had to interact with people because I'm antisocial. And so it's like, these people just don't get it. And I think, I'm not saying this to insult them. I think they're just fundamentally lazy, because this is the next FAQ. They say, you guys are just lazy, right? And the answer is, some of us are lazy, sure. What's wrong with that?
Where to start? I mean, the thing is, like, we kind of actually accidentally talked about this at the beginning of the episode, but like, I don't get this. From the time I was a little kid, I loved to work. I was homeschooled, okay? And I only got like, I don't know, $10 a month for my allowance. And it was the height of the Beanie Baby bubble. And I wanted to buy all the Beanie Babies because I was convinced they were going to make me and my family very rich. And I had a long-term investment strategy for us. And so I found this store down the road from my house. And I biked to it every day, and I formed a relationship with the owner. It was called Trisha's Collectibles and Gifts, and she sold Beanie Babies, and she sold Lee Middleton dolls, and we had a prior relationship because I had saved up and bought a Lee Middleton doll, which was like $200 from her, by cleaning a man's house for a while when I was a kid. So she already knew me, trusted me, and I ended up getting hired for 2 Beanie Babies a day I would make, which is worth $12.50 a day. And I was doing inventory, and I was running the cash register. I was like 10, and I loved it. I thrived. I loved learning it. And I've always had that. I've always loved working. And the thing is, when you love working, even if you're doing lower wage jobs, I wasn't even getting minimum wage. I was working for Beanie Babies, but you learn things and you get better and you build and you improve. And it's just I look at every job I had pretty much, and I'm like, I learned something. I got better. I improved, and was able to now build the career I have. And so I've never understood this whole I'm oppressed, capitalism is oppressing me. It's you've immense opportunity if you are worth even half your weight. Do something with yourself, learn, build, grow, go find things that you do like. I just don't understand this bottom dweller existence these people seem to have. I
have never understood as well this there's no actual alternative, right? Work has always been a thing. Work is not a capitalist thing. Wage labor is sort of maybe a capitalist thing, but that's just because before they didn't get paid.
They didn't get paid.
Right?
We had to work to survive and work a lot harder.
There's never been an existence without work of any kind, really. Though, again, they do their weird mental gymnastics about what work is. And I would say this to the anti-work movement on Reddit and elsewhere, because they openly admit to being lazy. We can debate, I believe in a social safety net for disabled people, single mothers, etc. And we can debate whether that should be the government or private charity. What I don't believe in, and what I'm not ashamed to admit, is that able-bodied, lazy adults who won't work and who won't contribute anything to society should be left to starve. You have no right to mooch off other people and to just have everything provided to you. You are a human being with rights, but you don't have a right to subsist off everyone else like a parasite just because you are lazy. And actually, one of the great things about capitalism versus other systems is that it rewards the people who work harder. Not always, not perfectly, but over time, you can get ahead in life. And that also means that people like these anti-workers can get behind in life through their laziness. And that's what they deserve. And I'm not going to shy away from saying that.
I'm with you on that. And I also want to point out that under capitalism, work has gotten easier. It's gotten way better. We don't have to work nearly as hard as people did before capitalism, or even as people did 50 years under capitalism ago. My grandfather, when he worked in a pipe factory. He worked really long hours doing hard physical labor, came home covered in dirt. Most professions, you're not doing that these days. You're literally sitting at a desk. You're sitting at a desk with your Uber Eats coming to you and
whining on Reddit.
Right, whining on Reddit about how oppressed you are. You're in air conditioning, you've got food readily available, you haven't had to go kill anything today to survive. I think you're okay.
Yeah, so let's react to a couple posts of the most popular posts from this. This one has 109,000 upvotes. It's a picture of a tweet that says, "My boss denied me a raise before my shift today. What's some music you have never wanted to hear in a coffee shop?" And the post is, "I like this energy." And all these people in this group are agreeing with it. And I'm like, ma'am, this is probably why he denied your raise, right? If your response to not immediately getting a raise is let me sabotage this enterprise rather than let me add more value, let me work harder, or even let me find another job that will pay me more in the market, then yeah, you deserve to be fired. This is, I get they're trying to be edgy or funny, but the mindset here is actually really toxic.
I have so many questions. This is your revenge? You're not very quick either, because this isn't gonna convince him to give you a raise, and probably nobody's gonna notice your stupid music choice in the cafe. Okay. But yeah, it's just this entitlement. If you don't give me a raise, I'm going to it's kind of terrifying in the food industry too. I'm gonna come put bad things in people's food or their food or something. What in the world is wrong with you? You're a little unhinged, and that's not okay. And again, go find another job. If you don't like what people are paying you, find another job. Don't take that job. Again, maybe you're just bad at negotiating, because I've almost never been denied, or I've never been denied a raise when I've asked for one. And I've always been able to negotiate my way up and increasingly get more and more money and become wealthier and wealthier. And it's not that hard if you're actually providing value and can show the value you're creating to get a raise. So if they're telling you no, either you work somewhere really terrible and you should make better choices about where you work, or you're not that good a worker.
Yeah, I mean, what people, anti-capitalists don't understand about labor and productivity and increasing wages is that in a capitalist system where it's actually a competitive free market, you are literally guaranteed to get paid more if you can produce more and become more effective over time. Not right away, but like, let me just give you a hypothetical example. Say that I level up my skills and I go from producing $10 an hour in value to producing $20 an hour in value, but my boss is still only paying me $10 an hour. Well, there's that mismatch there, that now another company, when I'm applying around and I have my skills and my resume, can see, oh, if I offer him $15 an hour, I'm still going to make money because he's producing $20 in value. And it's not sustainable for my current boss to keep paying me $10, or I'll leave, and other places have an incentive to hire me for more because I'm now producing more. And so there is a built-in mechanism for people's wages to go up as they get more productive and work harder and more effective if they take that opportunity. The problem was people in the subreddit, they don't want to take that opportunity. I mean, let me read you this second post. It says very clearly, I do not want to work. Let me make myself clear. I don't want better working conditions. I want no working conditions whatsoever. Work is a colossal waste of time. I'm not interested in spending 2/3 of my life making some rich bitch. Working is bad for the environment, it's bad for society, and it's torture. It destroys your body and your mind and takes time away from your friends and family, people who actually matter. It's boring, it's painful, it's unhealthy, and I'm getting older. Man, I don't think work is your problem.
Whoosh. I mean, if you really care about your family, you would want to provide for them and give them a better life. There's so many problems here, but like, I guess I appreciate the honesty because I really do think this is at what's base of most of the progressive movement is people who just like don't want to create value. They don't want to have to actually contribute to society. And they're the kind of reasons communism would fail, because it's not that they so hate capitalism. They hate working. That's what it actually comes down to. They hate being of value, and they think that things should just be made for them and handed to them, and they're entitled. And I just think I agree with you. They should be left to starve. Like, I have no sympathy for
Sounds harsh, but yeah.
And honestly, I'd love to start a program. If my taxes went anywhere, I would love to start a government program where my taxes ship these people over to communist countries so we never have to listen to them again, and they can live under communism. Have a great time.
There's no wage labor in North Korea.
Nope. I'd buy my ticket myself. If you want, listen up, commies. If you want, I will buy you a plane ticket to Cuba. No questions asked. Get out of here. See ya. Bye. Have a great time. I don't think it's going to go like you think.
All right. So this community is also kind of incoherent, because one of the most popular posts on this subreddit with 27,000 likes or upvotes is entitled self-checkouts. I had to brave Walmart for the first time in quite a while to buy some ink for my printer today. I realized they have nothing but self-checkouts. Blah, 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 blah. A bunch of complaining. And then it says, Walmart and self-checkouts. I am confused. If you're anti-work, shouldn't you be pro-automation?
I'm so confused. He's so lazy, he doesn't think he should have to do the work of checking himself out. Like, that's actually what's happening here. He says, I'll be honest, a short second I thought of grabbing someone. I looked around at every register being a self-checkout and thought how many lost jobs there have caused, and we are now doing their work while paying them for the pleasure of shopping there. No, you're paying them for your goods and services.
But I thought you wanted them to not have jobs. I thought you wanted this.
Nobody said these people were smart. I mean, bless their hearts. Like, I mean, just all over the place. All right, the last one, it says, this subreddit is anti-work, not reform work. We're not liberals, which is a capitalist ideology. We're leftists, anti-capitalist. We want to abolish all work. Reforming a broken system still gives us a broken system. Unemployment, poverty, famine. They're all part of capitalism by design. We want to abolish working capitalism, not reform them. We're a leftist. Babes, unemployment, poverty, and famine have all decreased the most under capitalism, and you're going to have a harsh reality just because you didn't read your basic history books and understand what's happened under communism when it's been tried. Like,
Yeah,
the
I don't know.
ignorance
You
here.
didn't know this. There was no poverty or famine before capitalism ever. You know, that the mid 17th century was when capitalism was invented, and the thousands of years of human existence before then, nobody was ever starving, or there was never hunger, and there was no unemployment. Of course not. Are these people drunk? I mean, in Economics 101, you learn about something called the hockey stick of human history. I'm going to put this graph in the video version of this, but it literally shows you income per person suddenly skyrocketing around 1700. And it looks like a hockey stick because it was flat for thousands of years and then curved right upward. Do you know what that was? That wasn't the publication of Karl Marx's manifesto, Communist Manifesto. It was the invention of capitalism. And, you know, it's not perfect. There's a lot of crony capitalism with governments, but capitalism has done more to reduce global absolute poverty and improve literacy rates and child mortality and all these things than every socialist complainer in the world combined. So these kinds of posts, to me, they're just telling on themselves with their own ignorance.
Yep. I mean, as a whole, like, I just have so much disdain for communists. I really don't understand how you could ever get to that mentality. Like, I really do try to have empathy for people's views, but this one is one that has killed more people than any other system or ideology. It's one that has failed unilaterally every time it's tried. And to be that ignorant of history and basic economics and data, and yet full-throated support for this kind of system, I just think makes you a really big drain on society, which is evident by the kinds of things that they post. Like, these are not your thinkers or your doers. Like, I mean...
All right, guys, that's about all the communist anti-work nonsense I can handle without vomiting all over this screen and really grossing Hannah out. Let us know what you think in the comments below about the anti-work movement. Like this video if you're watching us on YouTube. And we will see you all next time on Libertarians React.